This is the new Golf GTI TCR street legal version. The front of the Golf GTI TCR is a little bit stronger, has some lower bumpers here, and when you pick the optional performance package, it's not only 15 millimeters lower like a GTI in comparison to the normal Golf, it's then 20 millimeters lower overall to a normal Golf if you pick the performance pack with the included DCC. That's what this car here also has at the moment. The TCR indeed available as 5-door as we see it here at the moment, but also as a 3-door. It comes with 18-inch rims. Those ones are the optional rims. There are 2 wheel packages basically available which come together. I call it performance pack because it's easier to remember, with the 19-inch rims here. And then you also get the DCC, the dynamic chassis control, the adaptive suspension, which then puts the car even 5 millimeters lower, as I said initially. But the front wheel differential lock, that one comes directly with every TCR. You don't need an additional package for that. This is here just a special comp style paint. You don't have to have it basically. Classic strong C-pillar for Golf. It's more really about the wheels and that the car is put a little bit lower, and special TCR spoilers. And you've maybe seen that those brake discs also have some holes in it. Well, that maybe increases the racetrack performance just a little bit temperature-wise. Pretty interesting. Of course, we will test it out today on the racetrack. It'll be so interesting, I can promise you. By the way, those wheel and performance packs unleash the VMAX from 250 kilometers an hour to 260. Well, if you need that 10 kilometers more, then go for it. Most of them you won't reach it anyway. So, but here you can see the tail lamps since the recent MK 7.5 facelift. This one here has more technology style, looks a little bit more modern. I think that's also well done. Other than that, classic Golf design. The TCR gets the stronger spoiler in the lower part here with a big black diffuser, and those are real exhaust pipes. I think also visually they're quite okay. The GTI is always something in between, of not going too far, but already showing some elegance and sportiness. And today we have 2 colors for you on location. It's the Tornado Red, our main vehicle, and this is here the so-called pure gray. I think it's also very fitting for the whole car. And as I said, those wraps here, you can go for them, but they're actually quite expensive. So I think I would rather let them and just have the pure color of the vehicle. So what do we have here under the hood? Hydraulic struts, I really love that. So this is a known 2-liter TSI turbo petrol engine. In the GTI Performance it has 245 horsepower. Here now it has 290 horsepower. Just on the front wheels, well, you have this front differential lock. Let's see how that one plays out on the racetrack, if we have some serious understeering or not. We'll find out for you soon. The acceleration figure, let's compare it also to the GTI Performance. There in the GTI Performance it is 6.2 seconds to 100 kilometers or 62 miles an hour. Here it is 5.6, so 0.6 seconds faster. This is the car key, standard Volkswagen Golf, here with a small GTI badge, but the TCR doesn't get anything special. Keyless entry, when you put your hand here, close the car, put your hand inside, then you open it. There we go. And classic solid Golf closing sound from the doors. Then also soft material at the inside of the doors is a great processing from the quality materials. Then this Alcantara at the inside of the doors, leatherette arm cover, also soft. And those seats, I mean, the GTI Performance already has performance seats. Those ones here are specially designed then for the TCR, so they're not so different, just a little bit different in the design. Here the steering wheel, cruise control on the left side, and also the volume on the right side. You change stuff in the infotainment screen on the middle part, the instruments screen. By the way, check engine light logo is totally normal when it appears now. As soon as you turn on the real engine, then it disappears. When it then will be flashing, then it's a problem. It's the same with all VAG vehicles. Separate climate control, I really appreciate it, because I have so many situations where I would just want to change something a little bit, and then it's not distracting while driving when you have those separate wheels for that. The TCR here, the GTI TCR, will always come with a dual clutch transmission with a DSG. It's not available as a manual, 7-speed right here. This is the shifting lever, also with a microfiber back here. Very interesting, it's pretty cool. Driving mode selector, I'll talk about the drive modes when we drive the car very soon. And then you can open this lower part here with a storage space, and you can put your smartphone in right there. Sadly, it's only one USB supply right there. The Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is available, and that works pretty flawlessly. It's a very good integration. You can also listen to your own music and then switch back to the car internal GPS. Last but not least, we have an electric handbrake as well as adaptive cup holders right there, just a little bit hidden. All again with a good build quality, and an armrest which is very well attached with some storage space inside. Those are the digital instruments. In the middle you can have, for example, a lap timer or driving data, or you can have the assistance systems view, but also something of the GPS. So this is the main menu. You also have this wiping gesture to tell you something about the GPS. I think it's also one of the best to use because it's pretty simple, it's very responsive, and the same TCR special design for the rear bench, forming some kind of 2 single seats. So also nice design. I really like the microfiber inserts here. They feel and look quite cozy. And you flip the seats already from here, but you can also do it from the trunk. I'll soon show you that. Well, what about the rear legroom? Of course, it's not different from any other Volkswagen Golf, and it's somewhat standard for the compact hatch segment. So let me show you what's possible here with the trunk. You flip the logo to open it. The rear view camera is also hidden there, therefore it also stays clean. Quite clever idea. The length here of the hatch is about 75 centimeters in length. Alright guys, track time with the Golf GTI TCR, and we go to the sports mode. And just give it a go. And our instructor in front of us, that's again our Autogefühl well-known Benny Leuchter, professional race driver. We've had him here also in the interview a couple of times. And we also talked about earlier the difference to the TCR and the Golf R, because if you put the performance pack here for the TCR, you're price-wise just, 2, 3, 4,000 euros away from the Golf R. What's the difference? Well, this one here is lower in weight. That's the main difference indeed. So the Golf R is heavier due to the all-wheel drive and stuff, and this one here just keeps the weight low, and this is better for the racetrack. Acceleration-wise, a Golf R is at 4.6 seconds to 100 kilometers or 60 miles an hour. But this one here is 5.6 seconds, so 1 second slower in the acceleration than the Golf R. But here on the racetrack, it's not about the 0 to 100 kilometer acceleration. We have a lot of grip here, also at the front axle. It's more about the lap times. And with this one here, with lower weight, we can score better lap times. That's pretty interesting to me. I really have to say, this is probably, you know, the biggest rush of adrenaline I had so far in a Golf vehicle. That's really interesting. Wow. This is, I mean, it's front wheel drive only, but at the same time, it's so well balanced that you could think, you know, you're not missing the rear wheel drive, and that's really seldom with a car, especially on the racetrack. So now when I'm also keeping it in the high RPMs, I also don't have any problems with, you know, that the car doesn't shift down or something. Now again, full speed. You know, the VMAX with the performance pack is unleashed to 260 kilometers an hour instead of 250. Well, it doesn't make too much of a difference. Here on the straight we can reach about 220. But here, wow. Have you seen the car sliding out when I was on the brakes a little bit? Because it's just, you know, I was really hard on the brakes, really reaching the highest speed that is possible here then for this vehicle. And now to our conclusion for today with the Golf GTI TCR. Well, I was really surprised how well this one was going on the racetrack, because I've been driving the GTI and the Golf R on racetracks all over the world before, and this was really a big difference. I wasn't expecting that. So it is way more aggressive, has of course some more power, not the same acceleration figures than the Golf R, but on the racetrack, since this one here is lower in weight, it is definitely faster than as for the lap times than the Golf R. Interesting. So if you want to take it out to the racetrack, then the TCR is also definitely something for you. And if you want a little bit more aggressive, because so far the Golf GTI was more in the most comfortable part of this hot hatch segment in comparison to other competitors, here now you also get an extreme Golf GTI. The Golf R then, of course, if you want that all-wheel drive, it is somehow still a top spec Golf. Sits also price-wise a couple of €1,000 more than this one here, but there's now this niche, you know, the GTI Performance with about 35,000 euros in Germany, for example. Then this one 39 with a performance pack 41, 42, and then there's the Golf R with 43 base, you put something in it, 45. So this one here then sits price-wise in between the GTI Performance and the Golf R. And that's indeed also where I see it. But indeed, this sporty, this track focus. So I personally, for everyday driving life, would either go with the GTI Performance or with the Golf R than with the all-wheel drive. That's what I would pick just for normal driving on the streets. Either save a little bit of money with the GTI, have the GTI badge, just the front-wheel drive, or spend then, you know, the maximum amount of money for a Golf, go with the Golf R for the all-wheel drive. But if I also want some track experience, and I'm the one who wants the extreme Golf, then the TCR would be my pick. Interesting, and of course, good styling, as we know from the Golf. Interior top-notch. As for the build quality, I mean, it's a car you can do so many things with, because it's still like a normal car, but this one definitely racetrack proof. Did you like our episode here today? Then give us a thumbs up, please. Follow us also on Instagram, and subscribe us here on YouTube if you haven't done so far. Stick with us here on Autogefühl. Thank you so much for tuning in.